You're listening to The Real Deal Conversations, a podcast designed to encourage, inspire, and equip you by sharing real stories and meaningful conversations that bring real life to the surface. I'm your host, Megan Deal. Let's dive in. I am with Kara and Ryan, who are, I had a friend introduce me to them, and he said, you really need to have them on. They have a good story, and what they're about to do can be really encouraging. So he told me a little bit about it. And Kara and Ryan are going to be moving to Cambodia next week in order to expand the kingdom for Christ, which is so exciting.
Yeah. But
we're not necessarily going to just focus on that. I actually kind of want to focus on your journey to that decision. And because kind of what we were talking about is feelings can get in the way of what we know God is calling us to do. Mm-hmm. And you guys are obviously choosing what God is calling you to do. And so I want to walk through that journey, what led you to it. So Karen, Ryan, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us. Oh my gosh, this is so fun.
Yes. And so give me a little backstory. You have a family. It's not just you two. So tell us a little bit about you, what you are comfortable sharing, so that we all kind of have a whole picture of who Kara and Ryan is, kids, all the things.
Yeah, so Kara and I started dating back in 2017, maybe 2018, and within 4 months quickly got engaged. Right? And kind of a fun fact, as soon as I proposed to her and she said yes, she got on a plane to Cambodia and left for 3 months for the summer. So it's like, all right, cool, we're going to spend the rest of our life together. I'm going though, bye. Yeah. And so anyway, so that was like the start of our craziness and like unconventional life. And then we got married in 2018 in December. And been, lovebirds ever since. We have 3 small boys, 5, 4, and 1, Jack, Crew, and Milo. And then we are about 20 weeks pregnant. And for
one on the way with
our 4th boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so accepting cool. Boy names.
Yeah. Yes. 4-letter boy names.
4-letter boy names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do they have to start with a certain letter?
No, we're just a 4-letter family.
Yeah,
I love it. So, we're an E family.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
gets confusing. But, it is what it is. You can't break the cycle, okay?
No, that's how we're committed.
That's right. That's right.
That was not our intention, but, our second son was Crew, and we had several people point out to us, like, the whole family is 4 letters. Even our dog is Luna. So we can't break it now.
I know. Especially
invested.
Like 100%.
4th boy. So
Wait, so when did you know? Okay, so take me to... Obviously, Cambodia has a part of your life.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you first went to Cambodia?
Oh, man. Everyone keeps asking me this. It was in 2012.
Okay.
It was my first year. So I found my love to be a speech language pathologist at Camp Barnabas.
Okay.
So I worked at Camp Barnabas, volunteered there for several summers, and then had some friends that went to Cambodia, and they came back and were just talking about it, and I just could never shake it. I'm I have to go here. Yeah. So I had a little bit of a break in college before I went and got my degree, and I went for a few months and absolutely fell in love. Yeah. The people, the culture, the richness, the acceptance, it was really unbelievable. And so it's been, if you knew Kara, you knew Cambodia. Mm-hmm. It was just one of those things, one and the same. It all went together. It was a constant of when's your next trip? And so I took a lot of girls with me. We would go on every Christmas and summer. I specifically worked in the schools at Nixa, so I could go every Christmas and summer. So cool. And I took a group of girls, and we would go and we'd serve in orphanages and organizations that helped women out of trafficking and schools and all kinds of stuff. And it just completely shaped my compassion, my empathy, everything about me of that there's more to life. Yeah. Than a 9-to-5 picket fence.
Yeah.
And so that is kind of what shaped me. And then Ryan and I'm in a really healthy place. Ryan and I had met, and it was in our vows, I think 10 times, Cambodia and children.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it was very evident.
Both of you from the get-go were on that page.
Well,
Ryan's backstory is a little different than Kara.
So I did not, my growth did not come from a Christian summer camp for disabilities like Kara did. So I grew up Roman Catholic in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Went to amazing middle school and high school there, and knew the Lord through my devout Catholic parents. Yeah. Amazing. But my relationship with Christ was just kind of hard because it is almost a routine that we did rather than myself. Like I was not seeking after the Lord as I needed to. I was just kind of like following the motions. And then in 2016, my dad out of nowhere got diagnosed with brain cancer. And in May of 2016, and then October, he passed away. So I, as an only child, it was just me and my mom and dad. I lost my best friend, and I was just straight up lost. It's really, really dark years. And then, but deep down, I knew there was more to my life. I knew more I needed to do. And I really do believe to this day, we talk about it often, is that God put care of my life. So we just started talking out of nowhere and started dating, and we joined a church together. And we started walking together, and that's when I kind of individually found my growth with my relationship with the Lord. And what Kara said was, if you know Kara, you know Cambodia. Yeah. So, as I'm like dating Kara, I'm like, Cambodia's gonna be part of my life, and I'm all about it. Like I see the vision, I see the passion that Kara has for this, and that I want to be a part of that too. So through our each individual walk with the Lord, but then our team walks with the Lord with our family. We just knew this was part of our life.
Okay, but see, I love this. This is there's a lot to unpack actually, because there's a question I have, which is something that married couples face, where one is more ahead in their walk and understanding and faith and boldness, and the other one can be, like you had mentioned, I grew up Catholic. I was doing the motions. So, it's kind of interesting because married couples can run into this where there's a frustration of you're not on that same page yet. Like you see what God has, you see what God is doing, and your spouse is like, no, I know God is good, like all the things, but so how would you encourage couples who are walking through that, within patience and time? How would you guys encourage couples who are like, I see this, and he believes in God, and he's all there, but he doesn't see what I see yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is really hard. I think I saw that through my parents' relationship. They were just best friends, right? And my dad grew up devout Catholic, and my mom converted. And so I saw just her passion of wanting to be like my dad, not just to be like my dad and like, I have to do this for him. She saw how motivated he was, and she individually wanted to be motivated too. And oh my gosh, the Christian and Catholic she is today is amazing. The ministry she started on her own is amazing. That was her life. And I think seeing Kara motivated me. It's not something like I have to do this because of Kara. It's like I wanted to do this for me, for our family, to be the head of our household, for the family that we're dreaming of. So I think like her walk in a relationship like motivated me, obviously, but it wasn't I had that deep drive too, that I want to be that person too on my own.
You do find that a lot, like a lot of couples. I think it's very overused phrase, but like equally yoked. But I also think it's really, really valuable when you truly understand what it means. And you can have a girl dating a boy, and the boy has never been to church, or a boy dating a girl, and the girl is like, I don't even know who Jesus is, and it can still work. But you have to look at what God asks and says in Scripture what a marriage should be. And you can't be the motivator for the person. I didn't have to like beg Ryan to ever do anything when it came to it. It became just like easy. It's almost like Ryan would definitely say this. Sometimes he's not going to initiate it, but it's all there, right? And so it was kind of like I want to do this, and Ryan's like, heck yeah, that sounds great. Let's go do it. But from the beginning, our relationship was centered around, what can we do? Like, what's more? Like, I didn't meet Ryan, and Ryan was like working a 9-to-5 job and had a white picket fence and like XYZ. I mean, he did own a house, but I mean, that wasn't, anything. But I think that there's something to be said about just like the conversation. So if you are dating somebody and you're frustrated in the sense of, I want him to be closer to God, I want more, you got to pray about it. Yeah. Like you're not going to be the person to change them. But all you can do is set like a role model of, I'm going to go to church, and I'm going to continue to do this, and I'm going to continue to be the best version of myself. Ryan and I met from a mutual friend. I was actually dating one of his friends. And after that breakup, it was super hard. And I look back on that, and I never would have been a place to meet Ryan if I wouldn't have been my best self. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's not fair. It's not fair for somebody to meet somebody that they think is going to be their husband and they're not even their best self.
Yeah.
Because then that man's going to fall in love with somebody and it's not really who they are. So it's sometimes hard to share our story about Cambodia because it sounds like it's like Kara, Kara loves Cambodia. Kara found this. Like I could have found Australia or Ireland, or it could have been this really, different country. But like what I have to continue to remember is like God was shaping Ryan in the same way, just in different aspects that he was shaping me.
I love that.
And so even though it was my initial dream, like it was still really, I believe, God's plan for Ryan to end up in Cambodia, right? And so I have to remember that it's not just me. But if you're wishing for somebody to be a part of your dream and maybe they're not there, I think I would just go back to like, what are the values of why you got married? Like, is it to be stubborn? Is it to you do my way, you do your way and stuff like that? I meet a lot of couples that they do this and they do that. And Ryan and I really have to bring it back together of why we unified together, what our core values are for our family, and ultimately the type of parents we want to be for our boys. So,
that's so good. Okay, let's kind of fast forward a little bit to what were you guys doing before you realized Cambodia was where God was going to lead you to? What were you two doing?
Yeah, so the last 5 years I've been a special education teacher in Nixa at John Thomas School Discovery.
Okay.
A little quick plug real quick. The best school that I could have been a part of, and the opportunity to be in the lottery in Nixa. Please look at JTSD. I mean, gosh, Megan, I felt so supported there.
Yeah.
And I came across the best students and the best families.
Yeah.
It was just a blessing in my life. So we'll get into this, but like, it was not easy to make this decision of a student in Cambodia because of how well Kara and I are established here and how well we love our jobs.
Ryan took a little bit to become a teacher. Yeah. He had a different, like, unconventional career path, went a little different way, and then ultimately became a teacher. And so for him to have a place where he's finally like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. That was really hard for me because here I'm like, we're going to Cambodia. This was my idea. And I really had to like stop and be like, no, this was God's idea. Yeah. Like this wasn't me. This isn't just me. And that was really hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still really hard. Y'all just ended the end of June.
End of June. I had to say my goodbyes like 2 weeks ago. So, it was really hard. But, kind of rock and skip and going backwards. But in 2019, we had our first son, and then COVID happened in 2020, and travel shut down, and Cambodia shut down as a country. And it was just pulling on Kara's heart that she hadn't been back. And I saw that as a husband, we got to make this happen. So it finally came to fruition last summer in 2024, and I got to go over there, and I got to see the village.
First time out of the country.
Yeah. Except for,
Jamaica does not count.
All inclusive Jamaica doesn't count. Anyway, so after that 17-hour flight, we get there and I see the villages that Kara has served in. I've seen the church that has been planted there. I've seen the relationship that she has there. And oh my gosh, Megan, there's just like the power of the Lord is incredible there. Yeah. So much so we were in in church there is all in Khmer, their native language. We don't know what the heck is going on, what they're saying, but we know that it's powerful there. Yeah. And then they start singing American worship songs, but in Khmer. Yeah. And it's just, we both just came to tears, and I leaned over to Kara unprovoked, like, Kara, we got to be here. We have to be here. And that's so cool. that same trip, we had friends that gave us a tour of the school that I'll be working at. And it just all came together.
A vision, we saw it.
It wasn't just like Kara and I skipping through the rice field with the three boys at our back. We have we know what we're doing Monday through Sunday. Our life is kind of stable there, which I think is going to make us successful with our kids need that stability. So we just saw that, and so that's what kind of brought us there. Yeah.
So, okay, when you said this to Kara and it was, okay, we need to be here, we need to do this, when you had that conversation of your next steps, because we talked a little bit about this, your next steps, it can come with a lot of feelings and emotions and thoughts And
oh my gosh, yeah.
and we see in 3 kids and like the what ifs, and there is so much, and there is so much that like we mentioned, talked about before this. There's so much that can cloud our mind that we go to default factory settings. I feel this way, that means I shouldn't do it. I feel this way, that means it's a sign. I feel this way, that means God must not be in it. When really our default is to be human.
Yep.
It's our default. And I think the other thing too is like when we go back to Adam and Eve, and the first thing that tripped them up was questioning God, but did he really? And so I think we forget that our default.
Yep.
And so what are some things that you guys had to overcome in order to follow what God says and not what default settings say?
Yeah, I remember like putting our kids to bed and sitting on the couch and being like, are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like, are we going? Because if we're going, this has to happen. Like, you've got to leave your job. I've got to leave my job. We've got to, and the kids do I enroll them for summer school? Like there were so many things we were like, are we going to go or not? And so that was kind of like, I remember those conversations. Like, we got to start packing. Are we going to rent out our house? We have a dog. What are we going to do? Where's this going to go from here? And so those type of conversations of back and forth happened probably from after we had left Cambodia, and then kind of August, September, October, kind of November-ish is when we were like, okay, like, are we going to go?
Yeah.
And so we kind of we were like, yes. So when we had initially said yes to Cambodia, we were going like a very unconventional way. I love Cambodia. Ryan loves Cambodia, loves serving the Lord. We have always been people that lay in bed and just dream about what life could be like more. Like, we're like, we could go do that. Like, Ryan's favorite question is, okay, if we won the lottery, it's like $2 trillion. What would we do with it? And I would be like, I would feed the hungry. And Ryan's like, I'd buy an NBA team. No, I'm kidding. But we always dreamed about there's got to be more. And like, we would have like the what is life moment. Like, I'm not going to get like dark here, but there's going to be a time where all of us have died. And what you do with your life is what you do with it. And so we just never wanted to be those people that had a bucket list of things that never got checked off, or we never did anything. And so anyway, with that being said, that was kind of what drove our personalities.
Yep.
We got blessed. Ryan's dad, when he had a mental health counseling business. And so when he had passed away, we just got the great honor to be able to run that business together. It was based out of Tulsa. And since Ryan had established this great job at NICSA, I am a speech language pathologist. And I was like, this is like funds. I could stay at home. We could just like take an owner's draw essentially from this business. I hired one of my best friends as our office assistant. It was unreal. We were living the life. It was so great. Financially super well off. Yeah. I was able to kind of work a little bit on the side, be with our kids a little bit. Like, we really had kind of the dream life. But when I go back to remember our conversations, like Ryan and I never dreamed of having that dream life, right?
Yeah.
So when we had said yes to Cambodia, we had said yes with fully financially provided for, right?
Yeah, the company would continue
the
while we're in
money
Cambodia.
the money that we took was just going to allow us to continue to go. So we love the Lord. We're going to obviously serve and evangelize.
Yep.
We're going to go work at this Christian school that is incredible. We're going to go and help church plan and make disciples and do these community Bible groups and all this stuff. But when you look at who a missionary is, it still wasn't us. Like, that still wasn't. I always joke, I'm like, why didn't I pick somewhere like the Netherlands or Ireland or somewhere cool in Europe? No, we picked a third world country. And so that is kind of where our storm started, Megan, was so in the beginning of February, actually it was Valentine's Day, I got an email that our biggest partner that we partnered with had to leave us. They decided economy happens. We were a mom and pop shop. I mean, it was we were a main employee assistance program for a massive company with probably 50,000 employees. And my cell phone was the cell phone for 57,000 employees. And so we were literally crumbs. We're like a Toyota Prius compared to these Tesla Cybertrucks, right? Like, we were nothing. And so it was the inevitable. It was going to happen.
A 94 Buick LeSabre, actually. Yeah.
But we had planted our dream on Cambodia with the stability of having this business. And so on February 14th, we found out that we lost the business. And when we lost the business, we also lost all of our finances. We lost all of our money for coming in like monthly. Yeah. And so I think I called Ryan like 20 times.
And I'm getting observed by my principal like during a lesson. And I'm like, I got to step out.
Yeah, it was like very traumatic for me. I mean, I had rebranded this business. We had a new logo. I hired employees. Like it was my heart and soul of this business. And so my first thought was, wow, we have to close the doors on Cambodia. Yeah. Like, and then that's when I really started to question everything. I was like, wow, God, like I heard you wrong. Like, you're kidding me. After 12 years of praying for this dream, now it's going to end like this? Because this morning, like Ryan and I prayed and God's just very fluidly spoke to us that we are going to Cambodia. Yeah. But then at 8:59, I'm sure when an automated email came to me and said, hi, we're giving you a 60-day notice, like God just decided to throw his hands up and say, oh, fooled ya.
Yeah, right.
Like that's not how life works. I had to go back to like the attributes. Like who is God? It's God doesn't say like, oh, Kara, I'm so sorry. Like now I'm going to give you that. Like it isn't because of what I do for what God does for me. Right. And so Ryan obviously gets home. My mom like rushed over. One of my good friends rushed over. Ryan came. I mean, I am a hot mess. I'm very dramatic. Like it was not going well for Kara. And we calmly just had to be like, did he call you? Yeah. Like that was really the question. Yeah. Like, did God call us to go to Cambodia? Yeah. And there's different monumental times that we remember God literally said, your life, your boys, what I have for you right now to enhance the kingdom, to grow the kingdom, and to evangelize is having you guys in Cambodia. Yeah. And so we were like, okay, like, how are we going to do this? And so that's when we became real missionaries.
Yeah, right.
And so we quickly marched into churches that would allow us to come and speak to them and try to raise support. Our conversations had to recircle back around. You know, like when I would share conversations of, we're going to Cambodia, it's the coolest thing ever. And people would be like, do you need anything? And it'd be like, no, we're great, thanks. Like I wasn't asking for prayer. I wasn't asking for support. I wasn't asking for anything. And then I'm like, oh, do you want to go get coffee again?
Yeah, right.
Because I have like something to share with you. Yeah. And then I'm like vulnerably like, I need support. Like I need help. I need prayer. I need anything that you can give me because I can't do this alone. Yeah. So long story short, that was kind of our storm. That was our huge storm. And through that storm, I could kind of like envision Ryan and I like hand in hand walking on like the waters of the storm and Jesus like telling the storm like calm. Mm-hmm. And like then there like the whole it just we got questioned a lot. Like things would happen. The enemy attacked us so much. Yeah. And that's a huge feeling, right? Yeah. Like that's like okay, is this me? Mm-hmm. Like, how do I know like I'm in God's will? Like maybe this is a sign to not go. Like, okay, we just lost our finances. We potentially don't have someone to rent our house anymore. Yeah. I don't have anyone to keep my dog. Like
and I think a lot of people would look at that and go, okay, we misunderstood.
Oh my gosh.
We misunderstood the assignment.
Yeah.
Like, and now we're 3 feet in and misunderstanding.
So at that time we had a house too. Yeah. We had already had a house in Cambodia.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. And so it was like, so I'm like, God allowed us to have a house. Like he allowed us to have a house and do all this, and Ryan accepted a job. Yeah. And now like I must have heard you wrong. Yeah. Like it must have been wrong.
You know what I hear, and I honestly have tears in my eyes because I'm so excited, and this is why. Because when you say all of that from the get-go, when you just said all the money was gone, like it was what I heard in my what I like understood it was, I was like, God's about to show you what he can do.
Yeah.
And,
totally.
And that like brings tears in my eyes because I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you about to do? This is so cool, God. And I think he gets us to a place where, and I've seen it in my life, where you're about to step out and do something in faith that's big. And then all of a sudden everything shifts in a way. And it was like similar for me, and I'm not going to get into it, but it was like everything was just stripped. And I was like, what are you talking about? But I think he strips it down so that you can go, no, it's me you're going to rely on. And you're going to see what I can do. You're not going to see what that business can do for you in Cambodia. You're not going to see how that business is going to support you. You're going to see how I support you. And that literally gives me chills because it's so exciting. And I think and that's part of why I wanted to kind of debunk some of this stuff was, yes, it is so easy to go to default and say, Lord, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Can you fix this? I'm going to back out. Can you help us sell the house in Cambodia? Like, we're sorry for misunderstanding. We get it. It's super, this is hard, which means, and that's our default. But when you look through that lens of like the spiritual and God, and you go, oh no, you're setting me up for
you got to
victory.
give it time.
Yeah.
Like how many times do we act because, clearly you were wrong. Like clearly God, you were wrong. I'm going to take control of this. So I'm going to hop on here and I'm going to sell our house. I'm going to do XYZ. Like you have to give God time. Because like his time, 12 years I have waited for his time. And so if I can wait 12 years, I can wait 30 minutes for my husband to get home and calm me down. Like, so I had to just like, we just had to stop. And we got that question a lot. Like, how did you know that this wasn't God saying, okay, we would meet with churches. We have been ministered by some incredible people, but we would get a lot of pastors that would say, have you thought about,
which would be discouraging,
waiting a year? And we did pray about waiting a year. And I'm not in any rush. We're not impulsive with this decision. We're not like, we have to be there. Like I don't, it's not
obviously,
like a pride
because
thing.
It's been 12 years. So obviously, what's one more? I mean, seriously.
Seriously, give us 12 more months. We're going to talk ourselves out of it.
And not only that, but like you have a job that you love. So obviously the impulsivity is not what's driving it.
This is where it gets hilarious. It kind of gets comical here. So Ryan has an incredible principal. I actually had the privilege of having her, and then she went to Ryan's school. So we both have had her. She's the best. So Ryan's like crying in his office, right? And she comes in and she shuts the door and was like, what's going on?
Because like I said, she's in that,
she's observing me. Him.
And she obviously, she picks up on everything and just knows everything. And well, wasn't you? What's going on? Like, what was that about? And I just told her, because I had just put in my notice like 2 weeks before, and they had just interviewed for my job like the day before.
And hired.
And she's like, okay, well, you got to make a decision. I can get your job back. Let me know. Let's get it going by like tomorrow. Like encouraging me. Like
that's so cool.
She's so supportive of Karen and I's mission because she knows both of us know her heart. But also like she also knows how much I value the school and like what an asset I was to her. Like which that's her words, not mine. But this then like so like that's just like the enemy like saying like, oh, here's your job back, like here's everything back.
But so you should stay. Like now you don't have money. Like Kara, you still have a job. Ryan still has a job, and then it's a lottery school, and so Ryan puts our kindergartner in for the lottery school, like, and just in case, and he gets accepted.
Not because
of Ryan, but because he got accepted for the lottery. Like that was just like the start of all of it. But we had to go back. People, like I said, the answer to everyone's question who was like, you're crazy. Doors continued to open because I gave it time. It wasn't like doors would shut. God shut the doors on the money. But when I gave him time to reveal what he was doing is when it revealed his plan. And so when I just let it go, when we just let go what was happening, just let God handle it. And that's so hard. I'm so type A. I've got a spreadsheet for everything imaginable. And so in that moment for me to step back and just pray and just be like, does a decision have to be made right now? No. Like it's February. We essentially do not have to be there until July. A decision does not have to be made. So we just had to stop. And God continued to open doors for this. And if doors wouldn't have been open and it really would have been like a shut, like no rainbows were revealed at the end of our storm, I think we would have definitely taken our discernment and prayer into saying, okay, maybe this really is, not what God has for us. But that didn't happen.
No, it didn't.
Like it continued. we continue to be more supported than we did when we had money.
Right.
And I know this sounds so silly, but like we're so much richer without money. And like when we would go and meet with people, all we would be like is, no, we're like 10% funded.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we can afford rent. Like, don't worry about us. We're not going to start like all this stuff. But like, God really stripped away what we really needed. Like Ryan's a big runner. So we were like, oh, you're going to run the Berlin Marathon, the Tokyo Marathon. We're going to go to Tokyo Disney. Oh, let's hop on a Singapore cruise. Like we had all the finances to be able to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, where was God in that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when I allowed God, when we surrendered and said, send us to Cambodia, he said, I'm going to send you the way that I can use you. And so it was just, it was really cool. We just feel really honored to go through what we went through, as wild as it is. So I would say, if you're in a hard place, if you're going through a storm, if you're kind of struggling of, is God sending me here? Just stop. Just like realize that if your values align with the attributes of who God is, like he's going to direct the way you need to go.
I really think that like started with our first meeting with Pastor Jeremy Alvarez, and his wife Beth like took us out to dinner.
Oh, she spoke a word. She was so good.
Yeah, and if Pastor Jeremy would have like told us like, guys, you need to wait. Like this isn't gonna work.
And that was fresh.
That was fresh. It was like a week later, right? And he's our first pastor, and like I had known Jeremy and Beth just because I had their son in school, but I never talked personally to them. Yeah. And so I had to kind of swallow my pride and be like, hey, Pastor Jeremy, would you mind listening to my wife and I's story? And he's like, absolutely, let's go to dinner tomorrow. Let's go. And I was like, perfect. That's awesome. And so the fact that like he heard our story, heard that we lost all our funding, and like he never once said, guys, he's not calling you to do this.
And we would have really respected what he had to say.
Absolutely. Because we were, like she said, we were fresh. We were like, needed to be like molded. We needed like a direction. If he would have said that, we would have taken it as stride.
The enemy was still trying to work in our life. Right? So like there was still a stronghold of we could have been very easily swayed.
So after that conversation, we were very encouraged, and we spammed every church in Southwest Missouri.
And we got 90% no's.
Yeah, we did. But those 10% yeses in meetings we've gotten, with some
all we needed.
We would never have gotten that if we were funded, right? Yeah. And the power that we have of several churches like partnering with us either through prayer or finances means the world to us. Like we always can, when we talk to church, we always say like the fact that there's a soul and families in Cambodia, it means the world to us.
It's like all we need.
Yeah, when you think about Cambodia, you think about our family. That's all we need.
That's
yeah. And I think also just another way the Lord like was speaking through us, like right after this happened, I'm just going through a devotional, and the story of feeding the 5,000 come up, right? And all the disciples are like, Jesus, how can we feed all these 5,000 people? We have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And, Lord just simply said, like, trust me. And that's, I'm getting chills thinking about it now. That's exactly what we're doing. We're going over there with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, but we know the Lord's going to provide for us. And we never strayed away from that, honestly, especially after that meeting with Pastor Jeremy.
Yeah. That's so good. I cannot wait. It's like the perfect setup from the Lord. I cannot wait to see what's about to happen. Because you know something's about to happen.
Don't get us wrong.
When he strips things from you, and when he takes things away and sets you up to rely on him, you know something big's about to happen.
And like, talk about feelings. I mean, one, it's okay to question God. It's not okay to forget who God is and how sovereign He is. So I have lots of, like when we found out we were pregnant moving to Cambodia, I had a lot of words to say with God. I'm just saying, like, so that is okay.
Which I think is so fair.
Yes, that's human.
As our Father, He welcomes and loves on us as we navigate those.
Because we were like planning our perfect life on our spreadsheet, like the baby's supposed to be born before we go to Cambodia,
I had it planned. We had been trying for 11 months because the baby was going to be born in May before we left. So I didn't have to deal with where I was going to birth or what I was going to do. That obviously didn't happen. But there's fears. There's legitimate fears that happen. There's no Amazon. I'm kidding. But really, like, you look at like your materialistic, like, okay, there's no Walmart. Like, what's my comfortability? Massive. But then if you really have to go to like the deeper feelings, our parents are devoted grandparents.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So much of the fact that like I'm sad to leave my mom and dad. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but I'm even more sad for my kids to leave my mom and dad. And then same with like Ryan's mom. That can break my heart in a second. Yeah. But I just have to continue to remember this is our boy's life too. God could have called Kara by herself 12 years ago, but instead he's now taken Ryan and four boys. So I have to remember that they have a story to be written as well. So yeah, we're facing normal human thought. We have a house that we're renting out. We're having to leave our dog that I've had for 7 years. We're having to leave grandparents. I mean, Ryan's mom is a single widowed mom. And so we think about like she is fully capable of herself, but like we take care of her. Like I want to be there for her.
Right.
And I want to be there for my mom and dad. And, my grandma's old. Like there's human thoughts.
Yes.
And we couldn't, I have to look at what I would say to my kids. Like, don't ever let mom and dad be in the way of like what your dreams are. Yeah. And if this is something that you're dreaming, you got to go. And that is what I would speak to our children.
And I think too, like in everything we're even saying, it doesn't mean it's going to be without trial when you're there. But having those anchors, because I think too, once it's easy to get into it and take the step and be like, oh, but this is so hard, but those are always opportunities to, again, lean into our Heavenly Father and say, okay, what now? What do we do now? Like I always, who is it? And Corinthians, it was like they had Jehoshaphat, remember when they had people coming at him, and like his immediate response was, we don't know what to do, but our eyes are on you. And it's like exactly that. Trials will come and we're not going to know what to do, and they also remembered, and I think that's too, like they remembered what he had done before and having those anchors and why it's so,
I have journaled all of those.
Right.
Yes, and why it's so good to have those anchors. I am so bad at writing things down, and I am like, gosh, I should have written that down, because it is an anchor with what you were saying a little bit ago. You remembered. You remembered what God had shown you, what God had said, and it was like, okay, this is, and having that discernment and all the things, and so I say that to encourage people who are like, okay, we're going to step and do the thing. This has encouraged me to step out and do the thing and say yes to what God is calling me to do. I just want to encourage you guys, like, that does not mean the trials are going to be over.
You got to be ready for that. Yeah.
And so, having those anchors, having, all those things to lean on, because I don't want you guys to hear what Kara and Ryan are saying, step out and do the thing, and then fall back and retreat when it gets hard. Like, that's when you really need to dig your heels in the ground even further. So anyway,
I have to picture like a battle.
Yeah.
Like really, like Ryan and I have argued more in the last 6 months than we ever have in our marriage. Yeah.
And it also comes like after we've had an awesome conflict with churches. It like becomes our largest fights, or after that happens.
It'll be over dumb marital, like dumb stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ryan, you if you put those Cokes in the fridge, they're going to have to stay cold for our 13-hour drive home. And Ryan's like, duh. Like, don't talk to me like that. Yeah. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, and I'm like, you realize we're arguing over Coke? Yeah. Like soda? Like, what is happening? Yeah. I have to picture a battle in my head. Truly, I have to remember that anything that does not come from, I keep going back of the attributes of who God is, and love is kind and faithful and pure and all that. Anything that waves against that is going to be coming from the enemy. Yeah. And I am naturally sinful. We all are. So naturally my instincts or my first comments are probably going to be very intertwined and tangled with sin, because that's just who we are. I mean, daily we have to ask for forgiveness and mercy and everything. And so we have to remember that, and Ryan and I, we talk about it often. Like, we have to say, like, you realize when we step off the plane in Cambodia, things aren't going to be filtered. Yeah. Like, we're going to be attacked even harder. We're living in a country that's like 3% Christian. Like, the enemy, witch doctors, evil lives here. And like, here we are. Like, I picture us like literally with an armor or 20 suitcases, one or the other. But like, really walking into this battlefield. And so anytime I do feel like I'm like questioning God, or there's an uncertain feeling, or I'm wanting to go back onto my human feelings, I'm like, where is this coming from?
You know what's interesting too is you say that and you talk about the armor and you talk about, and had God not stripped you of the finances to fund it, would you have the community you have now?
No,
Absolutely not. No,
And
no
so
shot.
isn't
I
that-
mean, oh my gosh, the fact
we
that
have always had a strong friend foundation from friends. I have an incredible core group of girls that I met at the summer camp.
Yeah.
But
Like Alvarez, best speaking that word.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
The
gosh.
churches that
we,
now
we
pray
never
over you.
would have.
Never.
Ryan is so private.
Yeah.
Like I march through the halls and I'm like, who wants to know about our life? And
Yeah.
Ryan's like, I hope to not talk to anyone today.
Yeah.
You know, like
And so it's like how much, see, this is why I love God so much.
Yes.
Okay. Because it's like I took away your riches, and I'm putting this in quotes, you can't see me, but I'm going to make you even richer
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
community. And those riches can't touch what community can do for you
Yeah.
as you're over there.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's looking at those. Yeah, it's rich in finances, but those finances aren't going to pray over you. Those
No.
finances aren't going to be there for you to say, I need perspective.
Yep.
I need to be reminded that money can't do squat.
and that money can
compared-
do really nothing for my children.
Nothing.
In their relationship with God. Yeah.
And so God is like, I'm going to make you money. I'm not going to say money poor, but money, just for the sake of money poor. And I'm going to put quotes on that too, so that I can make you rich.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's so cool.
So good.
We
Yeah.
have had conversations with people. We have been going to a local church that we have really just loved and has really
Yeah.
taken us in. And there's been several people that are just constantly pouring into us. We spoke at a church and we had just the sweetest, kindest man. We didn't know him at this time. He sat on the front row and we, at the very end, and he kind of looked at us and he was like, I don't know how you're going to do this. I don't know how you're going to do this.
Yeah.
But I know God is going to do it through you. And like, he's older and
Yeah.
wise. And it was
Yeah.
just like, you see it.
Yeah.
Like you can see it. Thank you God for that provision from that man that you have showed us that we're going to do this.
Yeah. Him and his wife, who, 3 months ago, we had no idea who
No
that
idea
was.
who they were.
And he's and his wife are praying over our family, supporting us, and just generally cares about us.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
And we are
so
Yeah.
going in really alone when we
Yeah.
were going
Yeah.
in by ourselves.
Yeah. And
I mean-
having those lifelines, so to speak,
Right.
are going to be everything when you're in a country that you're navigating and
Yeah.
getting used to all the new normals. And so, okay, when you go to Cambodia, which is actually next Thursday.
Yeah,
Next
So
Thursday.
today
Thursday.
is July 8th.
Yep.
So that's when we're recording. July 8th is when we're here right now.
Yep.
Next Thursday, July what?
17th.
17th.
So we leave
Okay.
at night.
Okay.
We go Springfield, Dallas, Hong Kong to Cambodia. So we don't land until like 10:30 a.m. on Saturday.
Okay.
And so it's a 12-hour time change.
Okay.
So we're 12.
Yeah, there's-
Cambodia's 12 hours ahead.
Yeah, they're 12 hours ahead of us. So right now, they're 12 hours ahead. So it's easy to remember.
And tell us what you will be doing over there.
Yeah.
What will you be spending your time as a family, individuals? Give us a picture
Yeah.
of what we're
So
walking
it's
into.
actually really interesting because it changed too, right? Like we always kind of knew we needed stability.
Yeah.
Like for our children, like as much as I would love to like frolic in a rice field and live the Khmer life, like my boys would be like, Mom, where's my peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Yeah, right.
I'm tired of eating rice. Like we had to think of like stability.
Sure.
We're not just visiting, we're living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when we were thinking about that, we were like, okay, well, Ryan's for sure probably going to work. I would love to do something with speech, but it really was like relaxed because we
Yeah,
didn't,
we need
we
the
didn't
money.
really need finances. And
Yeah.
so when we started to look at like, God started to reveal different ministry opportunities, different discipleship opportunities. So Ryan's going to be teaching at a
International
School.
school called Logos is through the organization called Asian Hope, where they reach all socioeconomic levels there in Cambodia, and all the way from the rich of rich in Cambodia to the absolutely poverty-stricken villages.
there's 9 schools.
There's 9 different schools kind of filtering down. And so I'll be teaching at called Logos International. It's completely English speaking. It is K through 12. So actually pre-K through 12. So our two oldest boys, Crew and Jack, will be able to go to the same school I'm at. So
they're so excited to ride a motorcycle with Daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
to work. They're like, "Where's my helmet? Give me my back." They're so excited.
So it's really exciting for me. As a teacher, just always dreamed about having my boys in the same school, right?
Yeah.
And so that'll be our stability, right? We, like Kara said,
kind of like our structure, like our.
We land Saturday morning. And I start a new teacher orientation on Monday morning. So we're gonna hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And then that will be like our main, like she said, the stability. But also we in this time of searching and searching for support, we've come across some amazing couples there too. That actually they're connected to the amazing Khmer family that Kara has known for 12 years, and they are the stereotypical missionary church planners.
Yeah.
So we are going to be walking alongside them and assisting them too.
That's so cool.
Yep.
That's so cool.
I want to go back a little bit of what Asian Hope is. So what's so cool is that Khmer people, Cambodians, love education. They believe in education so much that we can take a Christian biblical curriculum and pair it with foreign teachers, and Khmer people come running. Truly, because they want to be taught by the highest of high. So it's a curriculum based out of Virginia, I'm pretty sure. And so it's very Western. Like they serve Western food. It's like really Western. They have swim classes. They do basketball. They have like traveling sports. I mean, it's very Western. And then as you go down the line of your socioeconomic classes is when it gets a lot more like very Khmer based, right? Isn't it like a high percentage? I think I'm wrong. People that graduate from Logos actually come to the United States and go to college.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if we stayed for however long and our boys graduated, they could come back to Evangel and go to school.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a history about education in Cambodia. You have to, so they have public schools. So kids wear a cute little uniform. They go in. It is half day, 6 days a week is what very traditional Khmer school is. They don't have the finances or the funds in Cambodia to be able to pay them lunches. And so they can't really be all day. So they'll go like 7 a.m. to noon, 6 days a week. After you get to about sixth grade is when supplemental classes will start for these kids. So like higher level, maybe like math classes or English classes or something like that. Those classes are not in the regular school day for these kids. Those classes you have to pay. Essentially, you're bribing your teachers.
Okay.
And so however good of a money you can give your teachers is what good of a grade you're going to get. And if you can't pay, you can't take those classes, which then means you can't pass the national exams, which means you never pass sixth grade.
Wow.
And so then these kids will then turn around and they'll go work on the rice field, or they'll go work on in the markets with their family.
Factories.
Or they'll go work in sweatshops. Wow. Or sometimes they'll go, Cambodia has the Mekong River down it, and so some people will literally be fishermen all the way to Thailand. And so it's wild. The Cambodians' culture is they take care of each other, and they only really like to take care of family. So like fostering really isn't a big thing there. Like Khmer people don't really love to take care of Khmer people unless you're a niece or a nephew or a cousin or something like that. And so you'll find homes, and it's very unlikely that just husband and wife and a baby live there. You've got grandma, you've got auntie, you've got so many people that are all living together. And so usually if someone is not able to fund, like a kid will not go to school and they'll stay and work in the rice field with dad. Or dad will end up moving to Thailand and mom ends up becoming an alcoholic and they sell a child into trafficking for money.
Wow.
So that is kind of like the culture of like Cambodia.
Wow.
And so that's why I'm sharing that, because what Asian Hope has created is unbelievable, because you've got these people who are very high upper wealthy people who 90% of the kids have private drivers that take them to the school. Wow. That are bringing home Christian education. Like they're opening up their computer and playing like Noah and the flood and Adam and Eve when they've got dad's a monk behind them worshiping on their shrine outside.
Wow.
And so talk about like enemy and spiritual warfare, right?
Wow.
But Asian Hope, like they have a football field. It's a beautiful area. I mean, it's just incredible. Yeah. Like you really walk into it, like Ryan was like, Kara, I love you, but I can't work in a dirt field, you know, and I was like, my kids aren't going to, like, you walk in and it literally, you think of like a Southern California school.
Yeah.
Like it's outdoors. It's like beautiful. They've got OT, occupational therapies. They've got speech therapy. Ryan's going to be doing special education. They've got resources.
Yeah. So does this school keep kids from being trafficked? Like not actively, but if they're in this school, does it kind of, I'm genuinely asking, I'm just kind of asking.
Sure.
Like, because I'm like, okay, if kids get trafficked because it's like stops, there's poverty, they're not taking room, they're like, okay, for money for trafficking. If these kids go through this school, is it less likely that because they're a little more protected? I know that sounds possibly like an ignorant question. I'm just asking. Do you even know the answer to that question?
I would have my best answer to that would be a lot of the reasons I'm not one to speak on my expertise when it comes to trafficking.
Yeah.
I've worked with women that have been rescued.
Yeah.
An orphanage that I was at, there were several girls that have been rescued. Yeah. They were able to kind of share their story and stuff. A lot of the times from my expertise, which literally could be false, but that a child is sold into trafficking is because mom or dad has some type of mental health issue and they don't understand. Or it's a finance issue, or there's an abusive relationship happening issue, where like a pimp comes in and mom gets pregnant and then that baby is then sold back into the market. Like there's different things. I would have to say the structure of the Christian orb that Asian Hope has kind of created would probably faucet a really great way of like holding on to children. I think that the families are so supported with Asian Hope. The teachers are so supportive. These kids are being checked in on. There's extracurricular activities going on. Like there's so much happening within the structure of Asian Hope that I would have to say that by the grace of God and by them being prayed for daily, that God's probably holding on to them sweetly.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of perfection. People don't just come into the school and grab you and sell you. I'm saying that for anyone who's like, the third world country, like it's not like I don't have a fear of my children being over there. Like I was like, should I put an air tag on them? Like, is that something I should do?
I feel like that in the United States.
Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime has them on sale. Should I buy some? You know, and like you just think when you think of third world countries, you think of trafficking, you've watched and taken, you've done all these, like the likelihood of that truly happening is really, really slim. People don't just like come in, and maybe they do in remote villages that I'm just not knowledgeable about. But as a like your safety of your well-being, like I went for the very first time as a white girl and never once felt unsafe. Now there is prostitution on the street. There is pornography. There is wild things that are very more readily available than they are filtered here in the United States. But as a whole with that, I mean, people don't want to get caught, you know, when they come, they're not just going to come in and take a child. But I think Asian Hope's structure has really done well also empowering families and community. I mean, these parents come in, they've got a carnival that they do every year. They've got like this run-a-thon that they do to raise money, and parents are coming. Parents are volunteering. Parents are coming. They do like this moms group once a week and stuff. So it's not just see you later, bye. Like Asian Hope has taken Cambodia and grabbed the kids and grabbed the families and just released all like the Christianity, biblical parenting and curriculum on them.
Yeah, that's so cool. So what is your hope? What is your, you know, when you envision, you know, being there, what is your hope for expanding the kingdom? And just, you know, what kind of give us that, and then we'll go into how people can support you.
Yeah, I think you know, the hope and dream is just to grow God's kingdom, like you said. Being able to declare the gospel to the people, the unknown, is what we have dreamed about since we started dating. The fact that we have just felt such a power of the Lord working through us, that we just know that He's going to continue to work through us, and in His position to spread His word and spread His gospel. That's our goal, and that's our dream of, you know, if we, in the years we're there, we able to do that to one person, that's more than we would ever do here. So, you know, that's what our goal is, and that's what our thought is, and that's what our dreams are, that we're going to be able to like show how great God has been through our lives and be able to show this to somebody else.
Yeah, that's okay.
And like supporting the people that are already there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like obviously I would love to, well, one, it's going to take a little bit for us to learn the language.
Yeah.
Like we're going to go to language school. But there's people on the field there that we believe God will use us to help them. And so I might not be the one that's laying my hand on you and preaching the gospel, but I am the one praying behind the person that has the hand on somebody. Yes. And so when I look at what our, we've committed for 2 years, I don't know what that looks like. Ryan and I are like, our stuff's packed up. Yeah. We live in the basement of my parents' house right now. Yeah. And I don't really want to move again. Yeah. Maybe we'll get a trailer. Maybe we'll live in a van. Maybe we'll live in a tent. I don't know what life looks like. Maybe we'll stay in Cambodia. I have no idea. Yeah. But when I look at, I have to take 2 years with thinking I'm going to be there for a lifetime, truly, because then I only really treat it as like a short-term mission. Yeah. We might not ever see the fruit of what we do. Yeah. I might never know that my conversation with a lady that comes and helps me plant flowers is going to spark her in 5 years, because then she hears about Jesus again and then declares her life. I never know. That's why my conversations about Jesus can never stop. Like I can never stop opening up an opportunity to just say anything. And that might be giving $1 to someone, or sharing a meal, or giving a hug or a high five, or even like a smile. That's not necessarily declaring the gospel at first, right? But I will say it's been incredibly intimidating. Yeah. If you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, okay, what would I say to someone who doesn't know Jesus? Yeah. I think you might be quiet for a little bit. Yeah. It's intimidating, especially for, I would have to say I don't do it all the time here. Yeah. Yeah, right. Like it's not, I don't have to go to Cambodia to save people by any means. Yeah. But what God is going to do in our life in Cambodia, I believe is richer and stronger than currently here in the States. Yeah. He truly is calling our family there. Yeah. And so, like I said, even if that's I would love to find my dream. This is like what I lay about in dream. Is like maybe like finding like a Khmer girl who would maybe help babysit. Yeah. That we like would trust, and maybe somebody who doesn't know Jesus. Yeah. And so like when my boys say, "Oh, we're going to pray before bed," like this little 18-year-old is like, "Okay." Yeah. And then like maybe my boys were the ones who evangelized to her. Yeah. And so our parenting and what they can do. I mean, gosh, our 5-year-old wants to tell everybody we're going to Cambodia. Like he'll run up to somebody at the gas station and be like, "I'm moving to Cambodia." Yeah. Like, buddy, you don't know him. But how come you get to tell him? I don't. And I'm like, okay, everybody, we're moving to Cambodia. Like they want to evangelize too. Yeah. And sometimes I have to sometimes I kind of hide behind them, and I'm like, I want to be like that childlike faith. Yeah. That it does not matter what anyone's opinion or reaction is of the fact that I am going to declare the gospel.
That's so good. That's so good. And I think too, it's real easy to think, what if, and I know this sounds so like simple and okay, Megan, but it's so true. Like, what if you with that situation, meeting somebody in the flowers and you're just kind to them, or you just say the one thing. It has nothing to do with the Lord. It has nothing to do with that. Yeah. But what if that morning they said, okay, if this Jesus is real, if this so-called God is real, then do this. Mm-hmm. And it's something so what in our mind is simple and like that. Well, that was like, okay, that's anything. Oh, exactly. But what if it was the one thing? I know. And it was like, oh, and it's one seed planted, and it was just somebody, a stranger being kind. Because what if in that person's life a stranger was never kind to them? So for them it was like, okay, well then just show me kindness through. This has never happened. And so many people, the things that we're like, oh, that would be nice to do, but who cares, whatever, and we go on with their life. It could have been, and not that God's not going to reach them through. It's not that like, oh, well, I didn't do it. Now God's never going to reach them. That's not how it works. Yeah. But wouldn't it be cool if it was you that planted the seed? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love that. I love that.
And we might never know, but we can't stop, even though I don't have satisfaction in it.
100%. Yeah. I just got super teary eyed as Kara was talking, because I am so excited for what's about to happen. And how can people support you? So social media, where can they follow you on social media?
Do you
have like a page for it?
No,
No.
just like my name.
Just kidding. Okay, newsletter. How can they get your newsletter?
Yeah,
Do they
so
email you?
we have we're going through an organization,
Okay.
which is really great. So we kind of had to have an organization that was gonna hold us accountable.
I knew we were there. Yeah.
People could donate financially to us and have it be tax exempt. They could set up monthly payments to us. It kind of became like a housing for our funds.
Yeah.
They also are incredible relational. they're very relational with us. We actually just had a Zoom with the CEO of the company this morning because he was like, "Hey, how are you? I want to know how you are."
Yeah.
So we are going through them.
International Outreach Ministries.
Okay.
IOM.
And
So you can go on International Outreach Ministries and type in Kara and Ryan, and we're on there.
Okay. Is
And you
it
can click on-
IOM.com or is it the actual wording?
It is IOM-online.com.
Okay. And then they type in Kara
So
and
you
Ryan.
just like can go to that main page, and
Okay.
then there's like a tab that says sponsor like a missionary,
Cool.
and you can find missionaries, and then we're right there under Asia,
Okay.
and right there under Cambodia, and so it'll pull up, it'll do like a little blurb, and on there actually you can click a little link at the bottom that says sign up for the Sullivans newsletter, and
Okay.
so if you sign up for it, then it gives me your email address, and you kind of get put into our page. But I will say, one. Before I even talk about, well, obviously you did not invite, you did not invite us for financial, I'm not asking,
No,
I'm asking for prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
oh
if
my
you're
gosh.
listening
Yeah.
to this and you're like, okay, they're kind of crazy. That was a great hour of my time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Like, thank you for your prayers.
Yeah.
Like that's really, and
not your good vibes,
yeah.
your prayers
Please.
to Jesus.
Yep.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like,
Very
don't-
structured. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Intentional,
to Jesus,
directional, yeah.
Jesus, Yahweh. That's
Yahweh.
who we're gonna be
protect
praying
them,
to.
lay a
Yeah.
hand over them,
Yeah.
protect their safety, their boys,
Yep.
their
Yeah.
confidence, allow them to just fluently being able to speak the gospel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we send out monthly newsletters. I say that loosely because we haven't sent one out this month. And on there you can find lots of information. But I would love a reply
Yeah.
because it's going to be really lonely on the field.
Yeah.
So I mean, we send probably 150 newsletters a month, and I probably get maybe 4 or 5 replies. In
Yeah.
those 4 or 5 replies, I'm like, you cared
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
what I said. Like
Yeah.
you care about what Jesus is doing. You care about my life. So even if it's like great newsletter, praying for you guys, bye.
Yeah.
We would love to hear from
Yeah.
you. And
Yep.
even if you have no idea who we are and you're listening to this,
Yep.
I would still love to hear from you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And if you want to come to Cambodia,
Yeah.
we're here for that
Oh,
too.
yeah.
We got an extra bedroom. I can plan the whole trip for you in about 10 minutes.
Yep.
I love that.
And like if you are looking for a place to serve,
Yeah.
Yep.
Asian Hope is an incredible organization to do
Absolutely.
it. And you don't have to be a teacher to do it. You don't have to have any skills to do it. If you're wanting more, if there's something that you're just searching or yearning for more, I pray that you find that.
Yeah.
And it might not be in Cambodia. It might be something else, but I pray that you have the courage to be able to do that.
I love that. Okay. So, yes, definitely be praying for Kara and Ryan if you feel led to do more and, financially give. You have that information. Connection. I am very relational. I am all about connection. Like I thrive
it.
on connection. So I totally get what you're saying with, hey, if I send a newsletter, like even if you just say,
Yeah.
hey, got it.
Yeah.
Like,
I wish there was like a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
on
right. That's all we
texting.
need.
yeah,
Like, got it.
Just give me some sort
Yeah.
of connection.
I did it work.
in
How
my
did
new
you get it?
normal.
Yeah.
So please connect with them if you feel led to connect with them. Kara, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks so
I
much.
For
am
having us.
Yeah.
so excited for you guys, and this is so cool.
Yeah.